Stand by for a special report from Linglestown Gazette. Stand by for a special report from Linglestown Gazette. Wanted to get on here before the holiday weekend. Got some news for you. And I'm just trying to see if I am live. Here we go. Here we go again. This is going to be on Facebook as well as YouTube. Yes, Linglestown Gazette does have a YouTube channel, by the way. This is going to be on Facebook as well as... Okay. All right, we're ready to go. This is Bill Bostic with Linglestown Gazette, a special report. Big time fireworks happening in Lower Paxton Township heading into the big holiday weekend. Memorial Day weekend 2019. I am all set to share with you. I got my Roaster's coffee, my second one of the afternoon, early evening. And before we get into some details, a couple quick updates. Linglestown Gazette, for the second year in a row, we are trying to promote the great game of golf. The great game of golf, and what that's all about, we're going to be doing Women's Golf Day. This is a worldwide event, believe it or not. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Tim McCarthy, thanks for stopping by. Crystal Bob, welcome to you, and 3 other people who are unnamed at this point, 9 people watching. This is going to be June 4th. It's a Tuesday, less than 2 weeks away, I believe. It's going to be a Colonial Golf and Tennis Club for women, even though men will be involved in the instruction side. This is to introduce women to golf. So if you've never played golf, you don't have a golf club, you've never held a golf club, but you sort of thought it was sort of something cool that you wanted to try, here is your chance. It's absolutely free. Colonial Golf and Tennis Club. Right now on Linglestown Gazette and Linglestown Gazette Sports Facebook page, near the top of the news feed, you're going to find a link to sign up. Now, my co-host, Crystal Bob, has signed up, and she is going to be bringing her daughter if she signs her up. So we know Crystal's coming. I think there's about 13 or 14 other women lined up. We have 35 spots, so there's still plenty of room. The last time I checked, 21 spots. So that's Women's Golf Day, June 4th, Colonial Golf and Tennis Club. The other thing, a note on sports, the Lady Rams softball team will be in action tomorrow afternoon at 4:15 at the high school. A quarter-final round game, District 3, Class 6A, softball playoffs. The Rams come into the District 3 tournament as the defending champs. They're second seeded. There's a team out of I'm gonna hold off here. I'm not quite up to speed. I think it's Warwick is the number 1 seed. I don't know anything about them, but our Rams have had a great season despite only having 2 seniors. A very young team, but they're doing great and could go far. So we're going to be watching them tomorrow. Joe Gillaway and I will be doing a radio broadcast because the PIAA and their wisdom, how they have things set up now, they want $650 to do video, believe it or not. How about that? Oh, and Anthony Cristillo is offering me some information. Yes, the Big 33 football game. This has been going on for years and years and years. And this is the 3rd year, I believe, it's going to be held at Landis Field in Colonial Park. Of course, Anthony Cristillo, the Fat Man Clothing Company, he's the unofficial mayor and go-to guy in Colonial Park. He is going to be there with his Fat Man Clothing Company items. He's outfitting coaches and players, and I don't know what he's doing, but the Big 33 game is going to be Fat Man territory. So if you've never experienced the Fat Man experience of wearing clothing, of being part, dare I say, a cult of sorts, I'm part of it. I wear this stuff. Join in and check out Anthony's stand at Big 33. It's 2 o'clock on Monday, and there's some festivities before then. So that's the other note is you see the background here. I'm in my office /shed/video studio. Today it's officially finished. CBC Cabinetry and Flooring came in and finished off a workstation. They're one of our sponsors in the morning. I bought a window air conditioner so I can cool things down. So now the only thing I have to do is sort of outfit this thing for video. Down the road, when instead of these blank white walls, there's going to be a set that's going to be there. So, we're going to turn this into a video studio, and I think I'm going to get a green screen as well, so we'll be able to do some innovative things. So now I just need to get some money together to get someone to help me do all this stuff, because I don't know what I'm doing. Does anyone think I know what I'm doing? But I tell you what I want to talk about coming into the holiday weekend is fireworks. Now, I'm not talking about the fireworks that seem to happen every school board meeting at Central Dauphin. The Central Dauphin School Board fireworks. No, not those kind of fireworks, where people are arguing back and forth and trying to make points in a very testy way. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fireworks that you see at, what is it called these days? First National Bank FNB Field, where the Senators play. I'm not talking about those. And I'm not talking about sparklers and different, kids things where you light them up and they go bang. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about aerial fireworks, because the state last year, the state legislature and Governor Wolf approved the sale of consumer-grade aerial fireworks. This does not apply to the professionals that show up. And by the way, the next professional display of fireworks is coming on July 3rd at Coons Park for the July 4th holiday, July 3rd. And Coons Pool will be having a pool party to go along with that, a viewing party. It's like $3 to get in. They have food, they have entertainment, they have swimming. And, of course, I'll be hosting a diving contest for the kids. So I have to figure out what the prizes are going to be. I'm the sole judge in terms of scoring that, that kind of thing. I create the dives that they have to do, and then I score them. So what we're talking about, people now can buy these consumer-grade fireworks at stands that shoot up in the air. That's really what we're talking about. And last night, finally, after about 6, 7, 8 months, the Lower Paxton Township supervisors got a version of a regulation in front of them that they were willing to pass. So as of right now, the township has a fireworks regulation that deals with these things. I'm going to go over it just in brief. Now, don't run for the doors. It's going to be brief now. I'm just going to hit the high points here. I believe right now on Facebook for Linglestown Gazette, you can get a copy of this thing as well as go to the township website. The key points would be, they do have a little bit of discrepancy in this regulation. They have an age limitation. You have to be at least 21 years of age to get a permit. You now need a permit in Lower Paxton Township to fire off fireworks into the air, and they explode, and all the crap comes down, the fiery crap. You need to get some St. Thomas Roasters coffee here. Another part of the ordinance talks about being 18, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. So I'm not sure where that's going to end up. But here's the point. You do have to get a permit, and they want you to get a permit at least 30 days in advance of when you want to fire off fireworks. And get this, it's $75 for the permit. And there's more. So you have to be at least 21. You have to get a permit 30 days in advance. You have to pay $75 for the permit. And then you have to, and I'm not even sure how you do this, you have to have a bond for at least $50,000 in the event you cause major damage or you hurt somebody as you're firing these things off. Now, I talked at some length with John and Larry Antone, who operate the Paxton Herald. It turns out they're pyrotechnics. I don't know if that's the correct word, but they're into fireworks big time. They know all the lingo. They follow the industry. They know what to do. And, they're not really that hot on the state allowing the consumer-grade aerial fireworks, because they are dangerous. They can start fires, and you can get severely injured if you're not careful. So, anyways, That's why the township wants a $50,000 bond. I guess you have to go to your insurance agent or a bank or someplace and get a bond and file that with the township. All that stuff is enough to probably eliminate most people from wanting to do this, I would think, if they know about these regulations. Let's see. A couple things you may not do, and then we're done here. And this is mimicking the state law. You cannot be within 150 feet of an occupied structure. This is any place where there's a vehicle housed in a building, or someone's conducting business, or you're living. So, like all of like Linglestown, the Linglestown area, and all of the developments around Linglestown, Colonial Park, Paxtonia, you cannot fire these aerial fireworks off, and that was happening last year. But July 4th is when it hit here in Linglestown. After the fireworks show, there were fireworks being shot off, right up through 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I had my finger on 9-1, and I had one more one to hit. I was going to call the police at 10:58, and I said, well, I'll just wait a couple minutes. At 11 o'clock, things quieted down, okay? So, I was impacting. My wife had to go to work the next day, and these things are going off at 11 o'clock. I know I'm a prude, old guy, but I thought that was a little bit late, especially whenever this is a weekday. The other big one, and it has to do with what I'm talking about here, timing. You cannot fire fireworks, aerial fireworks, if you have the permit and you have the bond. You're 150 feet away, and you have permission from private property owners, and you're not in a public park. All these regulations. 10 o'clock is the cutoff. 10 p.m. And then you can't do it until 7 a.m. So if you want to have a 7 a.m. fireworks show, I guess you're okay. So 10 o'clock at night's the end. Now there are exceptions. New Year's Eve, you can go up to midnight. New Year's Day until 12:30 a.m. Okay. So New Year's Eve up to midnight, but actually you can go to 12:30 in the morning on New Year's Day. That's what it is. July 4th, you can go up to 11 o'clock. So they give you an extra hour. So that case I was saying, if they firing them off in the 10 o'clock hour on July 4th, will be okay if they cover everything else. All right. And you cannot, here's another big one that's going to knock a lot of things out. You cannot fire consumer fireworks up in the air for the property less than 1 acre. That really eliminates a lot of things. As far as the passage, it went 4 votes to 1 on the township supervisors. Gary Crispin had some problems with the 10 o'clock cutoff time. And here's the last point. He indicated, and I think it's true, this is going to be very hard to enforce. Very, very hard to enforce. So here's the point. Now, I would imagine the 13, 14 people, this is Bill Bostic, Linglestown Gazette, talking about fireworks in Lower Paxton Township. There now is a regulation. There's paperwork that says all these things you have to do, right? I just went over it, and I won't go over it again, but there's a pile of things you have to do now if you want to shoot fireworks up in the air, all right? Aerial fireworks, consumer grade. Enforcement is going to be a problem because I believe to go to court, and maybe I'm overstepping my bounds here. Here's the penalty. If you get cited under this regulation, your fine is $100. So I know maybe that's make it a little bit easier to enforce. A township police officer or a code enforcement officer can issue you a citation for $100. I believe the court then would come in if you want to contest it. So they're streamlining the enforcement, and that really didn't come out in last night's meeting, but that's what's happening. If a police officer sees you doing this, or a code enforcement officer is assigned to investigate, they have the prerogative of charging you $100 fine. But I think for it to stand up in court, they're going to have to watch and see you do it. So that's going to be the tough part. Now, if you see or bothered by someone firing things off, again, if it's in Colonial Park, Linglestown area, it's illegal because it's too close to buildings. Plus, they're not following all that. They didn't get their permit. 30 days ahead. They didn't pay the $75 fee. They don't have a $50,000 bond. All these things. So pretty much you can guarantee on Monday or July 4th, 99.9999% of the people firing off consumer-grade fireworks up in the air are illegal. The best thing you do is try and pinpoint where it's being shot off as close as you can and call 911. That's really what it comes down to. Give the police a heads up that this is happening. That's why 911's here. Why? And some people say, oh, no, I don't want to call 911. I mean, I might get in trouble. No, you won't get in trouble. I did it last year. Other people did it last year. And you absolutely need to do it. Why? Because these consumer-grade fireworks are dangerous. And if someone's doing it in a densely populated area, I mean, they're just, especially if it's dry, they're just asking for a fire to take place. That's what the Antones told me, Larry and John. You know, these things, the trash that falls down that's still hot can light up a roof, you know, in the right kind of conditions. And that the crap that falls down out of the air spreads across a pretty wide area. So yes, call 911, but the key thing is pinpoint as best you can where that's happening. So you can direct the police or the code enforcement officer, whoever's assigned to investigate, to that area. Well, that about does it. This is Bill Bostic, Linglestown Gazette. I wanted to get on here. I didn't want to wait until next week to get into this because I can I'll guarantee you that there's going to be fireworks shot off this weekend. Now, the supervisors did say, because this just was adopted last night, and people are just finding out about it now because of big mouths like me are going to let everyone know. I'm spoiling everyone's fun. I'm a Grinch. I'm a bad guy. I know, but I'd rather have my house and my shed here stay intact and not be burned down by aerial fireworks. Thank you very much. Wanted to get this out this weekend, because this is so new, you still can call 911. This regulation's in force, but odds are the police are going to be issuing warnings this weekend because not enough time has elapsed to really inform the public. So let me see, are there any questions here that popped up? 25 more than the permit. It's a $75 permit based on this. That's what the permit is. And then they want a $50,000 bond. And I'm not really sure where you get those bonds, Mike. Mike Mazzucaro weighing in. Dave Kunkel says, if people are already paying a bunch of money for fireworks, what's $100 more? So Dave thinks that the $50,000 bond is going to cost $25. I have no idea. Use the non-emergency number. You can use it, but I'm not sure if it's always manned. That's another option. Robert Hill has the non-emergency number. I believe you can use 911. It's going to be a quick call. Tell them, and they can go out. Again, this is potentially a public hazard. If someone's firing off fireworks, Robert, in Colonial Park, and they aim it wrong, it's going to shoot right out toward a home or maybe other people. And these people are not trained. You don't have to be trained, but to do these fireworks, you just get them out of the box, maybe read the instructions, and off you go. And they can cause all kinds of damage. So, in my mind, it's an emergency and needs to be attended to. And it's a 911 available call. I think that's about it. All right. Well, the last thing is I order everyone to have a great Memorial Day weekend. Lots of things happening on Monday with American Legion Post 272 in Linglestown with the parade, and also they'll be going. Their honor guard will be going out to cemeteries early. Check Paxton Herald for information about that. Remember, it's our day to honor veterans and military people who perished to keep America strong, keep America free. I mean, that's really what it is. It's also the kickoff of summer, but this is really what it's all about. If you're going to be patriotic, remember our war vets who gave up their life for us. And it's important to me because they gave up their life for people like me to be able to get on Facebook and say what I want to say as long as I'm attempting to be accurate, true, and honest, which is my goal. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.